you shout, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun the command of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun they are the political, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not they off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do even no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man do they talk. He do they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say, make we no talk. But thank God say, Mayegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Mayegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará yìí. Hello there. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live. Oh, Bashe, Ani Mayegun Mawi, Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one. Oh, si tun sere, wa gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary. Thank you so much for joining me. Please share this broadcast. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, I mean your frenemies, and tell them that Mayegun today. Today, Tinubu's government, illegitimate regime, they play the fast one on Nigerians. Share this broadcast. 7 people lost their lives trying to buy Tinubu's 10,000 naira half a bag rice. Story of tonight. And yes, also, like I told you before, we have started seeing the Abobakus and their own rallies. Today, they were at the National Assembly to warn all of now where they complain about hardship. No to strike. In Suleja, the hunger pushed the people to the street again. This time around, it was chaotic. It is not all gloom and doom, by the way. The people of Abia State, they have something great coming their way. So good morning to you once again, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are joining us from tonight. It is Mayegun Live. And if you have read the caption of the broadcast, the description, which is the body, mostly just to give you an idea what we are talking about tonight. And then share the broadcast, like the broadcast, like the video. That's those are the a few steps you have to take. Then we get started. Today, across Nigeria,
Tinubu's government, in their efforts to combat this food crisis, hunger, due to the economic downturn, it seems that the economic woes of Nigeria is defying all solutions. However, they said they were going to use a short-term solution, since most people who are currently complaining are those who are hungry. So as they are starting mama put joint, chicken, chicken kitchen, been a soup kitchen for you. Tinubu's government directed the Nigeria custom to begin to sell the confiscated bag of rice. In Nigeria for years now, importing rice or grains into Nigeria is a crime. According to them, they have banned importation of rice in particular, so that they wanted to encourage the local growth farmers to go back to the farm, and then, you know what I mean, like people purchasing the homegrown rice. So because of this, Nigerians who were kind of enduring this hardship since Boko Haram's time, some of them later discovered that they were scammed. There was no local rice that was coming to be cheaper than the imported rice. Mind you, filling in the gap, the same government of Boko Haram that banned importation of rice, in particular rice, okay? Because that's what I want to talk about tonight. In particular rice. The same Boko Haram's government gave Dangote the importation right, sole importer of grains into Nigeria for a long time. Dangote doesn't grow rice in Nigeria. It doesn't even mill rice in Nigeria. We only bag rice in Nigeria after importing the same rice. So if you were caught with bag of imported rice, you are committing a felony in Nigeria. Therefore, this has led to years of confiscation of imported rice. And I have to be honest with you, for those who have been involved in importations, the story is not that straightforward to say, okay, yeah, they ban it and all of that. Behind the scene, there were other duplicated licenses given to some importers that you could bring them in only for them to get trapped. Then the long story short, the Nigeria custom is one of the highest warehouser. Is there a word like that? Warehouser. I want to say the highest sort of custodian. Let's use that, custodian. The highest and the largest custodian of grains in Nigeria. Usually, what they said they do with all those seized goods is that they share them among themselves, or they just sell them off as at giveaway prices to their staff, to their friends, to all that stuff, cars, food, and all that. So Tinubu told Nigerians that he was releasing 40 tons of grains 2 weeks ago. Didn't tell them that Nigeria has no single grain anywhere. So he directed the customs. That's the directive. Customs in Nigeria should sell off all of the rice, bag of rice they've seized. But if a bag of rice is now going for, let's say, 70,000 naira, you could buy the confiscated or seized bag of rice for 20,000 naira. But in order to make sure that, it's kind of rationed, so you could only buy half bag. So they made the announcement. And before you know it, like make them hungry, then offer to feed them. So because of this, a lot of people came out like, half bag of rice, 10,000, half bag of rice, 10,000. Because of, so few locations, I don't know if they shared it at your own place. So like, you know what I mean? Like they did in Lagos. In the whole process, come and see how they were beating human beings. These are not people who came to beg for rice. So they want to buy. come and see beating, come and see brutality. I won't show you that. Some of them were, really bloody. But it actually led to death. 7 people died from the report we gathered. I even have a video of 1 or 2 of them. So when I feel like the mood in this conversation is not getting too emotional, I may show you that tonight. And a lot of people actually got it right, according to what we heard. So they said, if you were coming to get the custom rice, all you have to do is you have to bring your NIN to show that you are a Nigerian. So those who have NIN, they decided to besiege all these locations. And from their advert, if you look at this on your screen, right, it was actually a big thing, okay? Something that they were so happy that they are finally solving the problems of hunger in Nigeria, okay? This is their style. This is an achievement, but pay attention, okay? So they said distributing forfeited food items fit for human consumption is our way of saying, now look at that. We see you, we hear you, and we are in this together. Now there is Sheyi Tifnumbu, very humble. This image on the right is actually making a trend on online right now. So the image where they said is so humbled. A young man that was born into wealth, the son of the president. He's so humble that he was sharing food all by himself. And, like they are so happy. And you know what people have been doing with that, right? Others was like, that's true. He's such an humbled guy that the last time he came to our construction site, he told all the laborers, all of them, to go away. And he started mixing the cement himself. But he started carrying everything. He started building things by himself. And we're like, this guy is so humble. Another one said, I was in labor. He just came to the labor room. I didn't expect it. I was in pain. I almost died. Sheyi Tifnumbu just came into the labor room and he said, transfer the pain to me and let her rest for a while. I will never forget that. It was so humble. Anyway, make them poor and then offer them food. If they continue to complain, ask them, have you not done enough for them? At least the mind of everybody right now is that they are trying to feed us, which is good. But there are those who have now been receiving the bag of rice. And some of them said, I don't know if your own bag of rice is different, but there's something I want you to know. There is a policy put in place to make Nigeria very poor. Nigeria was not in position to say they have a food sufficiency when Bokuwari came in and ordered the ban on importation of food. It is not because he had invested in agriculture so much that abundance of food of the Nigerian farmers are so enough for the citizens before banning anything. No. But it was all premeditated. It was all planned, as we found out later. Okay? So as he banned importation, they unleashed the Fulani terrorists on the rest of Nigeria. And within a space of a year or two, they were already almost everywhere, wreaking havoc, but Nigerians were not feeling the brunt. So he banned importation, then gave the license for importation to Dangote. So if you, as a businessman, you were expecting your importation of, you were expecting your rice or what have you, and you see the first set of people whose goods arrived after that pronouncement, not even like we are giving you till 2020, like 2015, and say, okay, yeah, the government is going to, take a very strong position on importation, especially rice and all the other stuff that we can grow in Nigeria. So by the end of 2016, we are going to totally ban importation. So with that, you have given people enough time that by the time the date comes, that's how they do in the UK. Oh, I don't know. That's how we do here. Oh. Government don't wake up tomorrow morning and just announce something. Because the ripple effect of that is going to be it's going to bounce back on the rest of all of us. But it happened. So they now went on to go and borrow money that they said they wanted to invest in agriculture in the name of Nigeria. You know the story now. At the end of the day, they lost all the money because it's either the terrorists took over the farms and the farmers, or even killed the farmer, destroyed the farm, burned the villages, to the point that they had to put up sandbags as rice pyramid in Abuja. Yet the price of food didn't crash or come down until they kept that secret importation to fill in the gap, to fill in the market. So this Tinubu came in. He has even made it worse because he kept in place that ban. And people's businesses are those things they are selling now, 10,000 naira. Sure, you understand? I need you to understand that. The policy that brought hunger to Nigeria, it is the losses, the life investment of people, businesses and businessmen and women, that they were sharing. So some said they are expired. I don't know. I don't know the rights you probably got, right? Some said they were the palliative. They are reselling palliative. For those who got their own 25 kg, you see that it's 25 kg, right? So this is the half of 50 kg. Each bag, each one on this screen cost 10,000 naira. That was what Tinubu said they should share to people. But for those who now collected, some said, Ewa, is this one not like the COVID rise here? Be something like that, Anyway, a lot of people have seen, and those of you who collected, great. But I want to show you the scene, like this is going to be like, well, they've been regular sort of scenes everywhere since APC, captured Nigeria. Abi? Now, let me show you this. This is from those who are like waiting to get their own share. I think it's this. Oh, no, we'll come back to that one. So that is what APC, that's what they have turned Nigeria into. And it's going to be like, it's called systemic weaponization of poverty. Do you understand? So it becomes the norm. And the question is, like all of their voodoo policies, economic policies, when they said they were rescuing the Naira, even till now, there is no major investment in the real sectors that can kickstart your economy. They are chasing people, Baba. They went to Enugu. in Enugu, where they were chasing the bureau de change, in a country that is so disjointed. Now, hear this, so they were rescuing Naira from dollar, and they sent EFCC all over the country to go after BDCs, bureau de change. These are people who exchange money for you. They are not illegal. The people they sent EFCC to go after, they were legally registered organizations with federal government issued licenses to operate as currency speculators, currency changers. You see Nigeria, Abi? So this time they now they said they are the people responsible for the crashing Naira. Okay? Because these people are hoarding the money. They are the ones who are selling at ridiculous exchanges. So to go after them, they have shut down Binance in Nigeria. And that effect of that, you begin to feel that from next week. Okay? But they believe that with that, if people cannot trade in dollar anymore, that will make Naira strong. Voodoo economy. And at the same time, if anybody want to trade in dollar and Naira, they should send the dollar to them and they will give you Naira. Meanwhile, all these operations, all these businesses they are targeting and blaming, they issued licenses to all of them to operate. Except for Binance. Binance is not only in Nigeria, it's worldwide. You know that. So not being on Binance, right, is not a Binance's loss. It's Nigeria's loss. And now Nigerians are saying they are going to go and download VPN in order to be able to access the same Binance that these voodoo economists are trying to cut down in order to save the Naira. So they sent EFCC after BDCs. In Nigeria, Nigerian government collected money, issued licenses to people. Nigeria to be speculating on their money. Nigerian government, the Central Bank of Nigeria, issued licenses to people to open banks. They make laws that says the Central Bank of Nigeria is the banker's bank. Therefore, when it comes to monetary transaction and all of that, if you want to transact with the Central Bank of Nigeria, you go to your bank. Now, the same Central Bank or the federal government of Nigeria issued licenses to individuals to also open shops to speculate on money. Now, they now blame them for why the speculators are making the Naira crash. So they were blaming speculators, not a country without electricity, country without security, country without infrastructure, country without, investors. But Naira, dollar speculators. So they send people out. And in their operation in Enugu, they arrested, according to them, they arrested people who are operating legally. They arrested over 100 people. Not just that. They collected 110 million naira of their money. It's not illegal money. And guess how much dollars they collected from the entire Enugu BDCs? Guess what? How much? Just guess, like Enugu, where they got 110 million naira, which is Nigerian naira currencies. $8,000. That's the cash they got from all the BDCs in Enugu. I don't know how many thousands they got from Lagos. I don't know how many thousands they got from Abuja and a few other places they have carried out this operation trying to rescue Naira. These were the same people 4 months ago. They were taking pictures. They were happy that, Naira will soon come back. Naira will soon come back. So they were taking pictures with Afrexim in Abuja. So Afrexim Bank is the Africa, it's Afrexim, export and import. So Africa Export and Import Bank. We don't even know much about them than this name that they joined together. But they're like, what do you call them? Investors are the business, I don't know, they have different names, but all Nagbajue. So this guy said they will help Nigeria to rescue Naira. And the news was everywhere. What were they going to do to rescue Naira? Oh, this guy were going to give them $3.3 billion. If they can get that cash, $3.3 billion, they can swear on their mother's graves. that Naira will crash down to 450 Naira to dollar. They were so sure. Now, it took them about 2-3 months before they gave them the first tranche of that money. Guess how much they gave to them? $2 billion from that money. They've collected that. Remember, that's the money that they used $12 billion of crude oil as collateral. Don't forget to. Now, I'm talking about these voodoo economy ideas that some of you should be questioning so that tomorrow you won't be asking questions like, how did we get here? God, how did we get here? It's happening. It's called systemic weaponization of poverty. They have already legitimized corruption. They said PDP, they initiated corruption in a way that has never been seen before. APC, Egbekegbe came to legalize corruption. Same way they are weaponizing, systemic weaponization of poverty. Okay? Where you have voodoo economists telling you it will, we can assure you. Meanwhile, when you look at them, there's no real major investment. So they got that $2 billion. And they managed to keep Nigeria, Naira and dollar at 1,200, 1,001, 1,002. That didn't last more than a month before the thing started taking a turn again. So these same guys who have no real liquid cash anymore, liquid dollars, they blame it on the BDCs. It's like arresting bankers. What do you think bankers do? They deal with money. And you say, okay, we just arrested all these bankers and we saw this amount of cash with them. Did you give them licenses to operate and touch those cash, right? Did you or did you not? Yeah, we did. We just thought that this money they are keeping now, we're supposed to be the one keeping the money. How can you be keeping their money when they can keep it? It's not yours. If you want money that belongs to Nigeria, you must invest in real infrastructures. You must invest in the real sectors that will yield you your own dollars. Una don't loot and destroy the crude oil sector already. Yet law completely. Even Nigerians are not asking anymore. How much are we making from crude oil anymore? Nobody knows. How much money are they printing from the central bank? Nobody knows. But they want the money in your bank account. All those dollars. I told you this. It's not long ago I was telling you that all those domiciliary accounts you have in those your domiciliary accounts, dollars, $100, $200, they want to take everything. Now they went after BDCs. People where they buy dollar, sell dollar. The whole of Enugu, they found $8,000. Baba, share $8,000 Enugu. Now he crash Naira in Nigeria. Voodoo economies. Same thing to this sharing of food. When they finish sharing all the seized food, forfeited food, and all everybody will collect half bag, 2 bags, 3 bags, here and there. When they finish eating all the rice, how are we going to feed them again? We're going to break into people's shops. They say, hey, Mama Sulia, why do you have 20 bags of rice in your shop? It's because I'm a rice trader, sir. Give us you need to show us the certificates for this 20 bag of rice. If not, government is taking 18 of them. We are leaving you with 2. Do you not know that there is a law that says you cannot have more than 2 bags of rice at home? But this is not my home. This is my shop. Hey, it's a home. It's a home. If we say it's a home, it's a home. Oh yeah, boys, start loading the rice. Because how are they going to feed these people? They told you that they have cultivated land in Jigawa, land where they are growing food and all of that. They have invested 78 billion. Abiuna no remember. I will remind you. Don't worry. Me, I will remind you. We never see video. We no see picture. We no see people working on the farm. But there is an imaginary farm in Jigawa. And none like that. They are printing more money so that they can start sharing for 5,000. That which majority of it is going to end up in their pockets and gone. All these things are not rocket sciences. You don't need a soothsayer to let you see through the charade and ask questions like, what's going on? Like there must be something else going on, right? There must be something going on. If not, okay. Nigerian government is selling off people's forfeited goods. and they are making 10,000 naira or 20,000 naira on each bag. So once they finish with that, is Nigeria going to harvest sometimes in April or June? I mean, sorry, May. It's like, I'm kind of, you know what I mean, right? So maybe they will take my advice then, okay, and just open the border and go and bring food that they will sell cheaper like that themselves. You remember I told you something like that, yeah? I was like, instead of humiliating people like that, I mean, I don't know. I think images like that make these guys feel so powerful, so important. When you see people like that, on the road, like, you say, yeah, you know how many people we fed today? You know how many people that were praying for us today? Because people will always pray. Thank you so much, sir. God bless you. It will be blessed. Ashiwaju. Ashiwaju will be when they finish, when they have to take, I mean, the moment they get to the bottom of the half bag of rice, and that's the last one they want to cook, then they're back to square zero, like, okay. The problem is not that there is no food, though. The problem is actually that we cannot afford or we can't pay for the food. So where are we going to go and get another cheap food like this? You cannot run a country like that. Over socialism, sometimes these guys will act like they are capitalists. They are like, like advanced stuff like that. But they are like crony capitalists, bunch of rogues that are, they are flagging this socialist one that says, oh, don't worry, the state will take care of you. And in fact, we take from others and give to you. Do you know there are people there in Nigeria that believes that there is a government that is coming to come and take all this loot from these people and give that back to them? Do you know that? Some believe that once they take the loot from them, this one will now invest the loot on them and, build schools, infrastructure. There are people who are like deluded like that. These are a few things that they used to kind of play with your head anyway. So, yeah. Because you say them yourselves, right? They were supposed to arrest all these thieves and take everything from them and then reinvest all these people alone. If they begin to go to politicians' houses, you believe that too. Some of you have said that they should go into politicians' houses. They will see more than 100 billion. Nigerians have problem with figures and all that anyway, with numbers, okay? But nevertheless, there are those who believe that if they begin to go to politicians' houses right now, they will see more than $1 billion. And because we know these characters, even me, I can partially believe that too. You understand? So the same set of people also believe that if they use that money, they can use that money to pay off Nigeria debt. What I'm trying to say is that there are those who believe that some politicians can just go in, take all those loot from those looters and all of that like that, and then give them back to Nigeria. And these characters are the same thieves they have seen many times. So there are those who believe that, you can't believe criminals, thieves like this. So 7 people lost their lives, they said. I'm going to advise that, viewers said discretion is advised there. It's not too obvious, but you can see the movements, okay? Let me show you. To the bag of rice. That's the one they captured on the screen there, There were those who actually like collapsed and fainted and all that. Kilo day. Kilo day, why? Because that's the way I feel. I'll be like a kilo little, yeah. And this is just like fraction, like a tiny fraction of the suffering population. There are those who are probably seeing this video and they did not do anything in our own area. If to say they're doing our own area now, I forgot there. You understand? Like, you just saw what happened there, and you're like, oh my God, see humiliation and even loss of life. Into the rise. That alone is enough to kickstart a revolution in a real place. Humiliation, yeah. And that's how you'll be seeing. We have seen some of these videos, and sometimes you laugh at them. We see a lot of them from northern Nigeria. We've seen a lot of them from southern Nigeria. Horrible, horrible images and all of that of people in the terrible, 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 terrible conditions. And sometimes we just laugh at them and be like, yeah, they deserve that and all of that. But that people lost their lives because they wanted to collect, they wanted to pay. They were not even begging for it. They wanted to pay 10,000 naira in order to get 25 kg bag of rice. Okay? And that's going to be the story. Every one of them that dies or probably got injured in the process or got beaten by all those, man, they were holding sticks, they were holding belts. Human beings. Just to get them on the line. Get them on a straight queue. Pa! Bo! Kilo de kilo to yen. Apology to the people of Somalia. That's in Somalia. I have never seen a video of Somalia on the internet depicting anything close, tinily close to what I've seen in Nigeria that people have been through. I am going through. Every small thing, Nigeria is going to become Somalia. Nigeria is going to become Venezuela. Nigeria, and I haven't seen horrible pictures or videos from these places that in any way get so close to what I have seen or witnessed in Nigeria. I've seen a pregnant woman collapse because she's hungry. I've seen aged men, the elderly screaming and crying inside bank, frustrated. I've seen things that you'll be like, man, this is, come on. But any small thing, we are still trying to brag about what we are not. I better pass my neighbor. Nigeria is a great clinic. There are poor people everywhere. Nigeria is on its way to Venezuela. Nigeria will soon become Somalia. Papa, you are dealing with something that is worse than all these places that you think. You probably still are better off. Because that's why you will say, we will say Nigeria is on its way to Venezuela. That's us saying that Nigeria is still better than Venezuela. Nigeria is still better than Somalia. I don't read it in the news all the time that Somalians are being kidnapped, like say them big game, and they are paying ransom to this so many popular gang and all of that. I haven't really seen that much. If you are watching us from all over Africa, you know it. A lot of you know what's going on in Nigeria more than those who are living in Nigeria, by the way. You know what I mean? How do you know? It's because you are reading things. Sometimes you'll be like, oh my God, how is that even happening in that place? So they get people to endure, get used to it, and tell them that you are better than Somalia because they know that they haven't even been to Togo. And many of them will never be to ordinary Beseme border until they die in that deluded contraption. You get what I mean? So people who haven't seen worse things like this, I haven't. No. And when people say it's going to get worse, I'm like, have you seen anywhere in the world where a inflammable tanker carrying flammable carrying gasoline or gas spill its contents, high risk, hazard in everywhere, and people don't give a damn? They will rush towards it, and they will begin to scoop fuel. They have no idea what they want to use that fuel for. But because they have been so, I don't know, that I have seen people who actually fetched petroleum and they poured away all of their, what do you call it, their drums, water of drums, they pour them away and filled all these drums with petroleum in a residential area with women, children, and then, you know what I mean? What kind of madness would you call that? What kind of poverty and poverty mind will actually make somebody ignore all the risk, and still pretty much go for it? I haven't seen that anywhere. I know some of you have been to many places more than me, okay? I haven't seen that like anywhere. Or have you?
Uncle.
Nigeria is so corrupt, which I regret the day I was born in this country. It's unfair. This is unfair now. This is unfair. Nigeria is so...
Some don't like it. I went on, sorry, I want to digress for a minute, okay? I went on Facebook, right there, and I think somebody said something about me, and some of you on Facebook, you are currently lashing at him and all that. And then it came back to say, somebody in the diaspora that is oppressing you, you are sitting down here listening to him. Something like that. See, all of you on Facebook, leave that guy alone. Do you understand? People like that, they are everywhere, okay? And they come from that, that portion of 70% mad people in Nigeria that they said officially, right? Some of them, if you see them physically, their life will never kind of please you, like, oh, I kind of like your life. To them, this type of a slavery is like eternity. People like him, who is so happy with his chains and every other thing they give to him, right? People like him should never kind of take much of your time per se, okay? Because what they see is, what do you call it? It is what you can say the materially, what they see, that's what they see, okay? Now, some of them, when we point out all of these shortcomings, which some of them are actually the victims of, right? What they mostly look at is normal, right? They are not normal, okay? So when they look at it, they're just like, oh my God, okay. So then immediately, right? It will automatically turn to jealousy. The moment they know that, oh, this guy is speaking from abroad. So you have this type of freedom. You've got this kind of, privilege. and you still have time to be talking about Nigeria. So are you trying to sort of oppress us? Ni? Oppress ye bawo, what me ori. You know that kind of, so you don't want to waste your time responding to people like that. So I kind of would say, engage in something different. They have done that a lot. Okay? Because to them, they would rather we all in that shit hole. Mute.